the poll of polls for you. Here is, we've collated 8 of these different polls done by different organizations, so that it's not just about one poll and whether or not one person gets it right, but largely it gives you a sense of what the trend is. According to Times Now VMR, which is the one that we've been tracking, NDA is projected to get 306, 132 for the Congress Party and 104 for others. According to C Voter, 287 for the NDA, slightly lower. UPA also slightly lower at 128 and 127 for the other parties. Jan Ki Baat is giving pretty much the same as us, 305 for the NDA, 124 for the UPA and 113 for the other parties. And News Nation is actually sticking to a range. Their range is 282 to 290, and for the UPA 118 to 126. So this is on a lower level though, and they're giving a lot more actually to non-BJP, non-Congress parties. But if you see on the slide number 1, the big trend is that the NDA seems to be getting past the halfway number. Let's get you some more polls and show you what others are saying. Today's Chanakya, they actually have perhaps the highest number that has been projected for the NDA, 350. Today's Chanakya was actually the one that was the closest, who got pretty much right in 2014. Nobody else had given NDA those many seats at that point of time except this poll. So watch out for this one. They've given UPA, just UPA, the combined alliance, 95 and 97 to the others. Axis India says 339 to 336. 77 to 108 for UPA. ABP Nielsen is on the other end. If this is the outlier on the higher end for NDA, ABP Nielsen puts it as a conservative 277. But they also have revised it since their earlier numbers and are pretty much putting NDA beyond the halfway mark. Ipsos also giving an extremely high number, 336 for NDA. For UP, it's 82. ABP Nielsen says UP actually will get 130 and 135 for the others. Here, they're actually giving quite a few seats to SP and BSP in Uttar Pradesh, the only ones who are really doing that. Now, here are the numbers. Quickly, let's take a look at some of the takeaways. Of course, through the next 1 hour of conversation, we will add more headlines. But here are the few basic takeaways that we wanted to put up for you. Point number 1. Alliances don't seem to be enough to stop the Modi wave, and we will discuss this in further detail. But if there is anything that has emerged from Uttar Pradesh or even in Bihar, is that it's not really enough. There is a huge amount of support for Narendra Modi, and even if vote banks are combined, perhaps it's not going to be enough. Let's go on to the next big takeaway. According to our team, Chaukidar Chor Hai slogan seems to have failed for Rahul Gandhi. Doesn't seem to have driven home the point that this government, that this Prime Minister is corrupt, and that is very reflecting in the numbers. Let's move on. If this hasn't worked for Congress, what has really worked for the BJP? The nationalism card. If you remember, in the initial opinion polls that came out in the month of January, even in the first half of February, were giving much lower numbers to both BJP and the NDA alliance together. But the opinion polls that came later in the March and April did give more number of seats, and that's now reflective in the exit poll numbers as well. So clearly something has changed. Perhaps it's the whole nationalism card along with the Balakot strikes that took place. The next big takeaway that we've written out, and we'll add to that, BJP has gained a new ground in Bengal and Odisha, two very, very interesting states, and we will discuss this in detail. Very surprising, of course, in Odisha, West Bengal, Mamata defended it very ferociously, didn't work so much. And of course, BJP stands strong in the Hindi heartland. So unlike the state results in Madhya Pradesh and in Rajasthan, they're still standing strong. Even in Haryana, in Himachal, it's worked for them. Broadly, these are the takeaways.